Musk suggesting that he might buy Coca-Cola. He might, well, there you go. Next, I'm buying Coca-Cola. He writes to put the cocaine back in. He wrote on Twitter yesterday.
All systems currently green.
You know, desperation is, in fact, a stinky cologne. And now we've got essentially more information about people desperate to block the purchase of Twitter, including not limited to the FCC getting involved, regulators, government agencies, and with conveniently timed oversight committees, and so much more. It's absolutely insane, but I promise today will not be a full-on Elon Musk day. There's a couple of other spicy stories that I want to cover, so make sure you click that red subscribe button down below, and we will get into everything. Now, I want to start with this article or a tweet from Watcher.guru that claims, says, just in, the FCC, FTC, and DOJ were asked to block Elon Musk's deal to acquire Twitter after claiming the transaction poses a, quote, direct threat to the American democracy and free speech. Literally, what? It's so insane to me that you have this, like, why would anyone want to resist this? Well, I think we all know why. I think we know that behind the purchase, Elon Musk is not just purchasing Twitter. He's also purchasing secrets. Here you have the FCC. Carr rejects call for FCC to block Musk's purchase of Twitter. April 27th, yesterday, the Open Markets Institute issued a release that called for the FCC, FTC, and Department of Justice to block Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter. They argue that the transaction poses a, quote, direct threat to American democracy and free speech. Isn't it funny how all these, like, look at what we're seeing now with the ACLU in the Amber trial. The ACLU, which is supposed to protect, speech and this and that, turns out they're co-authoring hit pieces and getting paid off, essentially, millions of dollars to do so, except, well, Amber never paid them, which was a different clip for today. And their release cites the Telegraph Act of 1860, among other statutory authorities, in the context of arguing that the federal agencies have authority to block the deal. Commissioner Carr issued the following statement in response, quote, the FCC has no authority to block Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter, and to suggest otherwise is absurd. I would welcome the full FCC making it clear that we will not entertain these types of frivolous arguments. Dang. And then you see Elon Musk here in the reply saying FCC for the win. It's actually insane. Here in the New York Times, regulators are unlikely to block Musk's purchase of Twitter, former officials say. This was from 2 days ago. This is how desperate they are to stop this. This is just my opinion, okay? But I strongly suspect that once he gets a hold of Twitter, we're going to find out a lot. We're going to find out a lot about perhaps a bias, obviously, right? We're going to find out a lot about any potential, if any, changes were made to the algorithm in order to influence what people see on Twitter, particularly around election times. Maybe we're going to see where this is happening, localized. Is it targeted? This is what the government and these shadowy agencies that would request the blocking are worried about. Look at what's happening. Now, outside of this Wednesday, you could see Friday I gained 0 followers, 50, 30, -4, 29. Then the Libs of TikTok thing happened. But again, you see very rarely. Look at the last 3 days. 1,900 on Tuesday, 5,000 on Wednesday. Thursday is only just begun, and I have 4,000 more followers on Twitter. I bet you this goes up by another couple hundred too. Like, yep, there you go. It goes up another 650. At this rate, I could have 200,000 followers on Twitter by the end of the week, a number that would have seemed absolutely impossible weeks before. People are, people are pretty convinced that whatever is going on with this recent follower spike is because of the removal of something. My position has still been that this is because, there's just massive advertising and there's lots of people coming back. But maybe I certainly know that the shadow bans are still in place. I know this. I know that it's still difficult to find my Twitter, my handle. So that hasn't been changed, but maybe something else was. I'm seeing anecdotal evidence of a bunch of people who are talking about, how they had some old account restored. Again, it could be coincidental. It could be somebody covering their tracks. And in the middle of all of this, which is just hilarious, like even as I'm recording this video, Elon's out there memeing. Eli said he's going to buy Coca-Cola just to put the Coke back in. He joked as what he plans to do next following his $44 billion acquisition of Twitter. In a late Wednesday gab session with his 87 million Twitter followers, Musk then reposted a meme suggesting that he should buy McDonald's in order to fix the chain's restaurant's chronically broken ice cream machines. Musk tweets, "Listen, I can't do miracles, okay?" Musk vowed to make Twitter, quote, maximum fun as he continued to drop hints on how he intends to run the company after the board accepted his $44 million buyout bid earlier this week as the world's richest man. Musk posted several tweets late Wednesday night into Thursday morning, which he offered some suggestions on how to upgrade the site. And by the way, all of these I 100% support. 1, Twitter DMs should have end-to-end encryption like Signal, so no one can spy or hack your messages. 100% agree. I think that Elon's going to add a ton of features to Twitter that, that people are using other apps for. Why doesn't Twitter have some sort of Telegram feature? Why doesn't Twitter like Signal? I have a Signal on my phone so I can get like anonymous tips from people. Maybe people inside of Blizzard or Twitter use it. But otherwise I don't use it. Why can't Twitter just offer me that? I would never have had to download Signal. So I think he's on the right path. He reiterated his pledge Wednesday, tweeting, "For Twitter to deserve public trust, it must be politically neutral." Musk also appeared to be enjoying memes that have been posted mocking Twitter employees who are reportedly upset over the Tesla boss's plans to acquire the San Francisco-based company. When Twitter user Kyle Mann wrote that the post of the Babylon Bee depicting a Twitter employee who undergoes therapy due to an imminent Elon Musk takeover was flagged by the service for, quote, sensitive content, Musk replied with 2 laughing hysterically emojis. Meanwhile, some experts are predicting that Musk won't be buying Twitter after all. They view his tweets critical of the company, which reportedly is in violation of the pledge not to criticize the platform, as a sign of lack of seriousness. Wall Street analysts point to the impact of Musk's imminent takeover of Twitter has on his electric car company, Tesla. Tesla has lost more than $100 billion in value as investors speculated that Musk may have to sell shares to fund his $21 billion equity contribution to the buyout of Twitter. Tesla is not involved in the Twitter deal, yet its shares have been targeted by speculators after Musk declined to disclose publicly where his cash was coming from. Well, I mean, people shorting the Tesla stock is really nothing new. You know, I think the whole thing is hilarious. And what you need to watch is who's fighting against this. You know, it's interesting to me. It's interesting to me that we're seeing like government agencies. We saw, I'm going to talk about this later. Suddenly there's this shadowy new agency, the Truth, Ministry of Truth that Joe Biden wants to start, conveniently timed around the purchase of Twitter. We all know nobody's buying the bologna sausage that our government suddenly cares about Section 230 after Elon Musk purchased Twitter. You know, it's so crazy. You know, in my opinion, this is just a speculation, okay? I don't know. I can't know. We will know as long as the purchase goes through. I think the Democrats, at least the corrupt ones, which are, I mean, anyway, the same with the Republicans, by the way, they're all corrupt. I think they're absolutely filling their dites. I think they are absolutely freaking out because they know, this is just my opinion, it's speculation, they know that Twitter did help them. They know that they do benefit from shadow bans. They know that those shadow bans and suppressions are, in general, happening in one direction only, and that is for conservatives. They know, potentially, that Twitter helped shape the elections or has helped shape them. And now they fear they are losing that control over the messaging. And that's why they're panicking. It's going to be interesting to see the death flails today. I have got a lot of videos, a lot of topics to cover. Make sure you leave a like on this video and that you click that red subscribe button down below if you're enjoying all this coverage. I promise some variety today, and I will deliver. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you again real soon.